Hello and welcome back to the Not the Old Firm YouTube channel. My name is Ben Banks here in Northern Ireland for Mullow's second round Europa League qualifier with Coleraine. Set to be a tough ask for Stephen Robinson's men despite the part-time and full-time difference between the two sides. Mullow coming here off the back of their first league win against St Johnstone at the weekend, looking to book their place in the third round of Europa League qualifying. It's a massive event for both clubs. Coleraine somehow managing to beat Maribor of all teams, a scourge of Scottish teams in recent years, on penalties. Last time out in their first round qualifier, Mullow again met Northern Irish opposition, this time Glentoran, losing 5-1 at Fir Park did the Glens, but now Coleraine will be looking for a bit of vengeance for Irish football, should we say, when they host Mullow at the showgrounds this evening. We're here to cover it. We've had interviews on the website, we've had different things on our social media pages, and we've really enjoyed being here to take in what should have been a really great experience for both sets of supporters, old terracing and things like that, really making for a good old-fashioned football experience, but no fans can be in the ground. It's a real shame because it really was a once-in-a-generation game for Coleraine, but alas, safety comes first, and Mullow fans would have surely brought thousands to the ground, although there have been wee spots of claret and amber around the town just in the day building up to it, and everybody in the town is looking forward to it. Every second or third person I've bumped into wearing Coleraine colours, my taxi driver even wearing head to toe in Coleraine kit. Before we flew over here, we spoke to Northern Irish journalist Steven Crawford. Stephen also works closely with Coleraine on a weekly basis, and he provided us with some insight into what Mullow can expect from Oran Kearney's men.
Well, definitely, and I think obviously British clubs is a bit of spice there, and probably similar styles as such, and obviously Oran and Stephen know each other very well, so adds a wee bit more to it as well. This is I always hate doing predictions because it comes back to bite you, but I think it will be something similar to the Maribor game. It'll be a tight game, and I think possibly only one goal in it, and I think Coleraine can do the magic again.
We also heard from the man himself, Oran Kearney, former St Mirren boss, taking on Scottish opposition for the first time since his departure from St Mirren last year. His day job is teaching, and he doesn't expect a day off should Coleraine pull off a big shock against Mullow, but he knows his side have got the quality to do such a thing, providing a big platform for Irish League football should they progress into the third round of Europa League qualifying.
Yeah, it's absolutely, I get on great with him, and it's an interesting tie from that point of view, and again, as Stephen has mentioned, we did spend a lot of time together in that point of view, and it was great times that you look back on in relation to those aspects of it. So he was great to me. I think all the Northern Ireland managers when I was over in Scotland were very good to me. Stephen in particular was brilliant, and there's still a big friendship there to this day. So I'm indebted to him, I suppose, in my time over there for the help and the words that he had for me, and I'm sure we'll remain friends for a long time.
Once the whistle goes tomorrow night, though, I suppose friendship's momentarily out the window.
Of course it is, and that's football, and even in our own league here, there's a lot of managers, and we all have a big friendship and a big respect as well. But the minute I think the ball goes over the line, we all fight our own corner for that period of time, and I think tomorrow night will be no different. There's a big mutual respect there, but in the same stretch. As a club, we're in uncharted territory, and we've made progress. But I know from speaking on behalf of probably players and everybody else, the last couple of weeks have given everybody a real taste for it, and I don't think they want it to stop. So for us tomorrow night, it's about going out again and making sure that we hit that level that we want to hit, and if we can hit that level, we give ourselves a chance, and that's all we can ask for.
On Friday if you get through?
Pardon?
Sick day on Friday if you get through?
Don't know about that, I've just got straight across there from school, so no, I can't see it. The boss has already been out of mind, because if you were, and it would be brilliant obviously to go through, obviously with everybody already knowing the draw for the next, I think is it Israel or Albania? Israel or Albania. So if you were to get through, obviously you'd be having to ask a very good boss for a bit of time off. So we'll not push too far.
That just highlights the challenges you face tomorrow. Like Mullow full-time team, you're having to sort of go back into school on the Friday morning.
Yeah, it is, but it's never something we'll ever make an excuse about. And I think being out in Maribor was good for the group and good for us to support. For the players in particular, I think to experience that full-time aspect of it from a preparation point of view, we've been smart about how we've gone about this week as well, and we've got a lot of prep work done this week already that we would have done in Maribor. So we're able to bridge that gap as such, and we're in a good place. We're in a good place, the squad, and there's a good vibe there. I'm glad, to be honest, the Maribor game was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this game didn't come a week later. I think the euphoria of that and the adrenaline of that, and probably even the energy expended in that game, it's probably taken quite a few of our lads at least 10 or 12 days, probably even to get back into physically training normally because of the expenditure of that night. And then probably mentally as well. I suppose all the praise and everything they received for those 10 or 12 days was nice, but it was nice probably at the start of last week to get that cut off and nearly reset again. We trained well last week. We had a really good competitive game against Linfield on Thursday night, which was a week ago tomorrow, and again that's just probably tuned us in again and brought us back to that level of needle and level of thought where we need to be tomorrow night.
If you did get that victory, the profile of Irish football goes up tenfold, probably. You get to the third qualifying round.
Hopefully, and I think it can only be good for football over here, and you know, it's been well documented. Obviously Glentoran have gone full time in the last year or so, and have big backers in there. Lauren with Kenny Bruce from Purple Bricks has come in there, and it's been phenomenal for me what he's done for the club and his further plans ahead. You know, Linfield, I think, are making more plans to go that direction of full time as well. So it's absolutely raised the bar of the league. And again, I think the sides in Europe this summer have been brilliant as well in relation to how they've progressed and how they've gone on. Glentoran got through a round, we've been through 2 rounds. Linfielders through a couple of rounds, and again play on Thursday night. So for us as a coefficient, as a country, and everything else, I think it's so important that we do that. But yes, I think nights like a few weeks ago, and hopefully nights like tomorrow night, can only be good for football in this country.
Focusing on Motherwell now as they make the trip to the north coast of Northern Ireland. It's a big game for Motherwell, obviously. Not been in Europe since 2014, the 5-1 win over Glentoran before the international break, their first game back in Europe since the games against the Jarman, which no Motherwell fan I don't think will want to be reminded of. Again, before we flew out, Declan Gallagher and Keith Lasley were speaking ahead of their trip over to the showgrounds. Keith Lasley, Motherwell legend, somebody that knows all about what it takes to lead Motherwell into Europe and succeed. He was speaking about how it was some of the best memories of his career came from European ties and how his players should relish that now. Declan Gallagher hoping that Motherwell can help prove that not only Celtic and Rangers can pull the weight for Scottish football in Europe.
Yeah, a lot of ups and downs, but you know, just being involved in it's a massive up. You know, it's certainly a highlight of my career being involved in European football for Motherwell, you know, as many times as we did. But the ones you remember are the ones you get through. You know, it's nice being involved in the competitions, but the good memories you have are actually getting through in the competition, and you know, that's what we're obviously looking to do this week. So, as I said right at the start, we worked so hard to get into this position. We want to try and make the most of it, and you know, we're determined to do that on Thursday.
Yeah, looking forward to it a lot. Obviously, Europa League, it's massive for us as players, but also the club as well. So. Boys are really looking forward to it, and an away trip as well, which makes it a wee bit more exciting too. So it's something that we've been looking forward to since the St Johnstone game finished.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you've always got to believe that. I think it's a difficult challenge for a club of our size to do it, and that's why I said we've got to try and make the most of this opportunity when we do achieve it, because it is an achievement. It is for this football club to be in European football is a big achievement. So. As I said, we've got to maximise that opportunity. So, but yeah, I fully believe that we could get back to this level. But now that we're here, we've got to use the chance, and try and progress as much as we can.
Next up to face questions, it was Motherwell manager Stephen Robinson and goalkeeper Trevor Carson, 2 men that know this area, this league, and this team very well indeed. Trevor Carson, a full Northern Ireland international. Stephen Robinson spending time within the Northern Ireland coaching staff. Both grew up here, both know what it takes to succeed in games against the likes of Coleraine. Stephen Robinson has had many a colourful experience at the showgrounds. Trevor Carson on his way back from a horrible DVT injury and is now getting a chance to play somewhat of a homecoming tie here at the showgrounds, but both know that it'll be a very tough test.
We were just talking about it on the way down. Me and Trevor me and Stephen Crawford were managing the Northern Ireland under 21 team. I think it was a fight with the Mexican team. It was the last time I was down here, so interesting memories to say the least. But yeah, I've been down here a lot, involved in the Milk Cup. Milk Cup finals and things as a younger player, and then obviously managing the youth setups for Northern Ireland. So some good memories down here, some not so good ones, so a little bit of a mixed bag.
Trevor, just how big a game is this for you, just with everything that's going on with your own circumstances in the last 18 months, to be back in your homeland playing a Europa League tie?
Yeah, it's massive. It's no bigger than any other game in terms of you want to win every game you play. So it's massive. The progress in Europe, for the club it's huge, and we're all aware of that. But we're well prepared, as the gaffer said. We come here as slight favourites, so we'll have to take that and take advantage of it.
Do you know a few boys in the Coleraine dressing room?
Of course, the Irish League's a small place, isn't it? Everyone sort of knows everyone. So yeah, played with a few, played against a few, and growing up. But yeah, that all goes out the window whenever the whistle goes. And
the third qualifying round, Stephen's not a bit of the competition that either side really gets to every season. So for both teams, just how big of an achievement would that be to get to that stage? Yeah,
it'd be absolutely fantastic for both teams to be in Europe, and for Northern Ireland football as well. I think it's great that Northern Ireland football are now being seen as a decent force, and what Linfield have done, what Coleraine have done, and in the past what Crusaders have done as well. I think it's a brilliant achievement. So us obviously being from Northern Ireland, very patriotic and proud. We're delighted with that. As far as Motherwell's concerned, it's a long time since we've been this far. We never actually got to the third round, so it's a big incentive, a huge incentive. To win the game, and then the draw, I believe, is on Friday, so you know what your next task is before you go to the next round as well. So huge incentives financially for the club, huge incentives personally for each and individual player, and as a football club, you won't get a better opportunity to do that. I'm sure Coleraine will think the same, and as been mentioned earlier, it's a chance for some of the smaller teams to progress further than perhaps you usually would.
They've talked about the lack of fans a lot this season, but especially for what would have been probably a once in a generation game here, it's a real shame that no fans can be here again.
Yeah, it's been even the Glentoran game, I think there would have been maybe 3,000 or 4,000 Glen men over in the stadium at Fir Park as well, and then you'd have a full house here, and no doubt we had brought a lot of fans. So yeah, it's disappointing, but what can we do? It's the world we live in at the moment. The fact we're able to play football when there's other people really struggling in the world. I think we have to be grateful for that, and try and make sure that we make the most of it and enjoy it.
Well, we've heard from Coleraine and we've heard from Mull. All that is left to do is the talking on the park, and we hope you have enjoyed our little preview show with bits of interviews from both sides of the fence. Please do remember to subscribe to us on YouTube. It is much appreciated as we try and grow the channel. If you're an Aberdeen fan watching this, don't worry, we've got content for you as well. Aberdeen obviously playing Viking in the other Europa League qualifier. We spoke to Norwegian football journalist and expert Ben Wells to get his opinion on Viking and what the Dons can expect when they go over to Norway. So best of luck to both of our Scottish teams doing their bit for the coefficient in their respective away games this week and getting to the third qualifying round for both sides in Scottish football. We could get the two teams, Aberdeen, Mull, as well as the two Old Firm teams. That would be great, but particularly getting Aberdeen and Mull to that third round would be a great boost. It'd be a great incentive for both clubs in the weeks ahead. We hope you have enjoyed. Do stick with us because we've got lots of content coming here from Northern Ireland. We'll have more interviews before the game. We'll have more interviews after the game. We'll have a wee bit in the build-up to the meeting between the two sides, Aberdeen and Mull, as well, from the Claret and Amber perspective. But that's all we've got time for in this video. Please do remember to subscribe, like the video, and I'll catch you next time.